Welcome to the Broken Agenda podcast, sponsored by Laughing Rock Technology.
And they'll take it, and they'll be unhappy. And then you'll get a beer, and you'll be fine.
Come on, you son of a...
Fine-ish. It may never be quite the same, but
I cannot.
sure as heck not telling them about something you're going to do next time. Hey, everybody. Welcome back again to our December 1st episode of The Broken Agenda. I am Craig Stonaha. To my right is Tyler McCulley, and to my left is Mr. James Klopp. And today we are talking about NFTs, or Non-Fungible Tokens. This is our second time doing this podcast. The first time was 37 minutes ago when we had a great conversation about NFTs. It was really outstanding. I'm sad you missed it. And we all forgot to hit record on the camera. Mostly Jimmy, but I maybe a little bit me and slightly more Tyler. But all that really matters is it was the least amount me. That's what really matters. So we're gonna try to pretend we didn't just already have this entire conversation.
Do it again.
And we're just gonna reboot.
Sorry, I still have my skepticism of it all. So.
Well, the nice part is I still hate NFTs
Yeah.
across the board. So Jimmy didn't sell us on them. So what we figured
We didn't
out.
get to the selling point. That's the good part.
Trial run.
I was getting better though. So Jimmy was making a case. Like he was laying down a solid foundation that we just ripped out of the ground and threw into a dumpster. So you're gonna have to resell us all over again.
We can do
But
that.
what we're talking about today is, if you're not familiar with what NFTs are or non-fungible tokens, what they are, we're going to cover that. We're going to cover where their value comes from, why people are paying insane amounts of money for these things, how you buy them, how you sell them, what they mean, where they're used, all of that. We're going to cover everything today. And we are going to try desperately, and I think we will. I think based on the first half an hour of the part that we didn't record, we stayed pretty on topic. So I think we might actually not break the agenda this time, but let's just start over. So let's get back to basics here. Let's get back to where we started. And let's just talk about, for a real quick instant, I don't even know in that first half an hour if we actually did a good job of describing what an NFT was.
Yeah, the definition.
I mean, and I'm going to try to even simplify what I said last time, which is an NFT is essentially any digital product, like a picture, like a JPEG or a GIF or a short video clip or any digital product at all that can be sold on the blockchain to an individual buyer. So, I mean, literally, I could take a picture of Jimmy right now looking intelligent and stoic at his microphone. That's not stoic. That's terrifying. I don't know what that is.
Pandering.
I thought that was historic.
That's
You mean all this time?
That's all this time you've been trying.
That's
to do
been
stoic.
terrifying.
You've been trying to do stoic.
No wonder I can't make friends.
And I do also want to say that we also did drink our mandatory first half beers, so we're extra beers into this podcast. So we're gonna do our best.
gonna get weird.
I could take a picture of Jimmy right now. I could turn it into an NFT. I could attach it to the Ethereum blockchain, which and we didn't talk about this last time, but Ethereum, you guys agree, Ethereum's the only one that's currently doing NFTs, right? Nobody else has NFTs on their
As far as I'm aware.
No, actually, there's NFTs in different places.
Oh, they do? Other blockchains are doing it now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, everything sort of spawns off Ethereum, but then you have...
But they're all Ethereum-based blockchains. Everything's...
Yeah.
Okay. So it's not like... I know for a fact Bitcoin cannot support them because it doesn't have the extra data sets
Correct.
in the blockchain.
No.
All the Ethereum ones can because Ethereum... And the reason why is Ethereum holds additional data besides just transactional data. So you can put other things on there, and some very clever people figured out that they can tie in ownership information as well as transactional information into the blockchain, and this is where NFTs came from. But I mean, do we go back? Are we going to go back to Beeple?
Yeah, we'll do that.
I mean, because I'm not gonna, we already talked about this, and I'm still pissed that Beeple sold for $69 million. I don't think I'm ever going to not be mad that Beeple sold for that much money. And my problem with it is still the same problem I had every time I've talked to you guys about this, which is a Monet, a Manet, a Ruberant, a Pekisi, whatever, Those are not real people. I'm just making up fake names. Sorry.
Yeah.
But I mean, nothing sells for. I mean, I think a Monet just sold for 17 million. I think a Van Gogh original just sold for like 8 million. And these are real, world famous, long dead, 100-year-old artists, paintings, whatever, that are a
views.
fraction of the cost of a
We're
Beeple.
gonna look at people.
It's not even a real name. That's a fake thing. So
Do you want to look at people artwork?
yeah, let's take a look at some Beeple art. Let's show everybody exactly what we're talking about here. When
I
it comes to,
was just getting ready. I was
You
trying to
were
get
warmed
ahead,
up.
but then I guess people can't see it, with the.
No, yeah. So pull up anything. Well,
So-
there's show the $69 million,
So this is the one that sold for the 69 million.
which is an insane price tag for any art.
So in this, this was like I was saying earlier. This is actually what happened was Beeple he bought a new a graphic design program, and the thing about Beeple Beeple was doing he's in advertising, and he does things for huge companies like the NFL. I mean, so his name was around. He wasn't just some guy that just created artwork. He's done things for major musicians and things like that. So
I get that.
So he's very well known in the upper echelon of Hollywood and stuff like that. So anyway, he bought this program. He was using it. He wanted to
Does
create.
anybody know what program we're talking about?
No, I'm interested though.
I mean, I can tell you what it is.
All right, and for those of you who don't know who Beeple, Mike Winkleman. I kid you not. That sounds like the type of name I would make up if I was going to get in trouble and I wanted to tell the police a fake name. It would be Mike
Mike
Winkleman.
Winkelman.
And I think that I described him best about a half an hour ago when I said Beeple sounds like a guy that could kick my butt. Mike Winkleman doesn't sound like he could kick his own butt. So it's definitely kudos for the shadow name. That's well played.
Program Cinema 4D.
I've never even heard of that.
Cinema 4D.
Cinema 4D. Okay.
Okay, so essentially,
It's 2D at best.
he bought the program, and he was doing every night he got home from work, he'd do one drawing just to get himself familiar and to learn the program. So he started selling he started with his NFTs, which all of these different ones here. These are the ones that went individually.
Why does Pokemon have? Go back up to Pikachu.
Yeah.
Be careful.
Is that? Can we show that on the podcast?
I suppose we can.
I mean, it's art. So
I
it's
just
fine.
did.
Is that?
That is Kim
Here's
Jong Un
Shiba.
Is it really? Is that?
Look
who
at
it was?
in a Pokemon
Look at Sheev
costume
and
wearing
Elon.
Buzz Lightyear.
with pasties.
With pasties.
Digital like cyber pasties. What is? No, don't go back to the pussycat. I want to. I don't know what this is. My brain's struggling to comprehend what I'm looking at here.
Wow.
Well, these are
That is Buzz Lightyear's art.
these look
You're
like
right.
cups.
Cups of what? Are those? Those are Alexas.
I don't know.
I know what those are.
Oh, it is. Yeah, it looks like an Alexa.
Wait, so you can talk into Kim Jong Un's? Can I say
Yeah.
nipple? I can say nipple.
Yeah. Wow. This really
And
has.
you're gonna order like more toilet paper.
He really.
right?
There's really a lot of meaning in here.
Well, there's an American flag in the background, which doesn't make any sense,
And you got-
neither does any of it.
And who's this guy? This is the guy from Toy Story.
Yeah,
Buzz Lightyear.
that's Buzz Lightyear.
What's his name? Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah, I named my car after him. And just he is wearing.
This is a bit of a defamation to Buzz,
well,
don't you think?
and Alexa.
I think if Buzz knew about this, he'd be a little upset.
I think we're all a little. I'm not upset. I'm happy. I like this. I like this. I would hang this on my wall.
Yeah. So I mean, he does
Not for
create.
$69 million.
I mean, he does create some wild stuff.
No, that's
right.
cool.
So.
It's-
Oh, that's cool. I like it.
That is
So I
kinda
mean, you know, there's just a lot of cool things that he does. To say he's not really he's a pretty good artist. I mean, here's pretty cool. Anyway, so these were selling for 60,000, 50,000, 30,000. When he first started pumping them in, they weren't selling for crazy amounts of money, but the more that went out, the more they got scooped up. And then you have to realize he was doing work for very high wealth people. You know what I mean? So they knew him and they knew his stuff. And when this stuff came out, I mean, he's really the he's really the icon of NFT artwork.
Oh, absolutely.
So if anybody's going to have artwork, think about if you had the first drawn piece of art ever made in the world with brushes or pencil or paint. What is that worth?
Not as much as a Beeple.
Yeah. So, well, they may very well be. I don't know. That'd be an artifact in a museum.
Yeah, it's going to end up in a museum, but still, I don't get it.
I don't know.
So
So those cave paintings in France, and I cut that piece of wall out and sold it on the internet. 100% sure I don't get $69 million for it.
No.
So I think, okay, so this was the one that sold for the 69 million, and this is all of this like the first 5,000 days. So these are all of the individual pictures that.
And he put them into a collage.
And he sold
it as a single NFT.
Right, and this was sold at the very end of all of these.
Okay, so essentially what happens is
it was sort of the climax. It was the peak of the market.
But here's the problem I have with this. So we had talked about, so how do you own this? So somebody bought this, spent an insane amount of money on this collage, which I made a collage in elementary school. I didn't get $60 million for it, but they paid for it. I get it. He's famous and he beeps and stuff. But so he sells this thing, but you're openly telling me that individual pieces of art that are in this piece of art also were sold as NFTs. So other people own pieces of art that are a part of this piece of art. And he still retains the rights to all the art as the creator.
No.
But yes,
I mean,
I looked it up. Like,
he's
the creator. He still
but he doesn't own the NFTs.
He doesn't own the NFT, but he owns the art.
Right.
So you're not actually buying the art. You're buying the converted art that was turned into an NFT that was then sold on the blockchain as an NFT. But what would stop him from making another NFT of that same piece of art?
I think
or
it's
just
probably
changing
part of
one
the contract.
So
it's probably within the contract of the NFT. Like, it's not like you can't. I mean, I don't know what the, you don't get to read a written contract, but there's probably some general rule that goes with the NFTs. Obviously, I didn't look that up for today.
I didn't see any rules with the NFTs. It kind of seemed a little wild, wild west.
Yeah, I didn't.
I mean, it seemed like a handshake agreement, like, hey, we're all on this,
Well, what they're doing now, now what's happening is they're fractionalizing these pieces of art. So now this $69 million piece of art has been broken up into, say, 10,000 pieces, and now each of the pieces, the fragments, are being sold off.
So wait, how can you do that though? It's sold as a single NFT.
But the single NFT is now being fractionalized where
it was shares of the NFT.
Shares of the NFT as if it was a stock.
So you've got
that was broken down into
100 that are all invested in this at $500,000 a piece. Right.
Right. So now the guy that bought it for $69 million made 100,000 pieces or 1 million pieces of it and sold them for X amount a piece and probably doubled or tripled his money. I didn't look that up since he'd done that, but that was one of the things he did. And he talked to people about that. Like, he said, I'm going to do this. He said, well, I don't own it, so I can't tell you to do it or not do it.
Do what you do, sport.
Yeah,
you do you, boo.
So now you have people buying pieces of it for even more, which the value of it is almost like a kitty now. Which there will be ways that things can happen with this piece of art that can actually, where it makes it worth the investment, which you guys will see.
I still don't see it.
See, and that's my problem. I don't see how the investment,
because there's no intrinsic value. Like when you break up a company into shares and you sell those shares on a market as a broken up company into individual Class A or Class B or Class C stocks or whatever, which is essentially what they're doing. There is a value to that company. It owns assets. It sells products. It has revenue streams. There is something you can assign value to that can then be assigned to a share of that company so that your ownership means something. There is no intrinsic value here outside of its perceived value within the art world, which is a fickle thing, to say the least. I mean, art goes up and down all the time based on the whims of the buyers. So art doesn't really have value without buyers.
Right.
I don't see how that's a sustainable investment model. Now, if it's just a crotch measuring contest where you just want to say, hey, I own a piece of people's thing, and you just want to claim you own it, it's just bragging rights. I guess I get it. I don't really have that level of ego. I mean, my ego is much smaller and contained, but I guess at least that I see, but there's no value there. Like, there's no reason you would expect your investment to be worth anything. And it sounds kind of like a pyramid scheme. People made $60 million, $69 million. The guy who carved it up maybe made a little bit more. And you're going to have a whole bunch of people holding onto a little tiny piece of a painting that can never sell it because they're at the bottom of the pyramid. Like, I don't know. I'm just not seeing where.
That's why I'm not too crazy about NFT artwork.
Okay. So you're not on board. You're not sitting here defending NFT artwork.
No, I'm not a fan of
Okay.
artwork unless there's more to it, which that's what I want to show you guys eventually.
Like the Pikachu.
We were just about to get to it 30,
No, the
40
Pikachu,
minutes ago.
$69 million sold. Like
Yeah.
that thing it's deep.
Yeah. Well, his
Needs a
artwork
rocket.
is nuts. His artwork is really crazy. I mean,
Nah, it all sucks. Pikachu.
there is a lot of crazy graphic design that he's got going on, and there's meaning to what he does. It's almost like the stories, like there's really depth. Well, I guess every artist has that,
I
right?
say
Every artist has a story behind what they're doing, but so I guess that's kind of stupid.
Okay, so that's Beeple. I guess that's kind of stupid. So, I mean, I'm glad we got into Beeple that deep. I mean, there are other NFT artists too. There's a lot of them. It's not just him. I mean, he's definitely, like you said, the King Kong of NFT artists.
Yeah.
But
And if you're going to own art and you have a Beeple, I mean, you think about, 20, 30 years from now, when your grandchildren are talking NFT artwork, Beeple is going to be the freaking man. If you have a Beeple, you're going to be like, what I mean? It'd be the same thing as like we were saying, if you had the very first picture that was ever created with paint.
maybe
would
seeing
be-
that feels very, because it's all ones and zeros. So if all those ones and zeros just go away, there's no value.
Really? Are they
Or
going
if
to unplug the
decide
internet?
now they're into-
Come on, you're a tech guy. Are they going to unplug the internet?
I mean, anything's possible.
They're going to boot it up and it's going to fly off into outer space and it's
One
going to live
second
on
after.
forever.
Exactly. I've read enough post-apocalyptic books to know that the grid does go down,
Does it?
and it will.
That's
for-
1 second after. It's a book we both read that
For most
makes
people.
me hoard canned goods.
Yeah. For most people, but Area 51 will always be up and running.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, it's good
Well, yeah,
that-
duh.
And they'll always have communication with the spaceship that flies off.
Well, yeah, you have to communicate with our alien overlords. We've talked about this in previous episodes. All right, so Beeple, we're gonna have to wait 20 years. So watch this podcast for the next 20 years, and then we'll do a recap on Beeple's value, which I'm pretty sure will be bupkis.
Right there, we should snap we should inject like a futuristic, get ourselves looking like old men. We're here.
Don't
the
give away our
report
secrets.
on-
We're totally gonna do that.
You have to cut that out.
Promise we have no budget, so it'll be made out of aluminum foil and
Right
chain.
there, that'd be badass to
that would
cut
be
into
badass.
that.
Cut in.
Yeah, you're gonna have to cut this out.
Jimmy, how's that Beeple doing? We'll have Jimmy dressed in all gold. And he'll be like, I sold it for 1 quadrillion, bit nuggets because I don't know. It's a thing that doesn't exist yet.
bought a fractionalized share.
I live in a house made of sunlight. So a thing worth recognizing here is I think a lot of people watching this are probably normal people trying to figure out what the heck an NFT is. There are entire communities out there. So, and this is the part that a lot of people miss, and they called penguin communities, and it just comes from the Linux logo, which is the open source penguin thing. But they hang out on Discord, they hang out on Reddit, they hang out on any of these sites where people hang out, and this is a big thing to them.
They did GameStop.
These are the GameStop people. These are and these penguin
They
communities
did Bitcoin.
can be very large. They can be very committed. They can be very wealthy.
They did Tesla.
Yeah, absolutely. It's
Yeah.
and I rode that wave and it was fun. So there is a real community behind this, assuming the community doesn't move on to the next thing, which these communities do tend to move on to the next thing though too. Like they're very trendy. They're very what's next.
It's what's hot now.
What's hot now. They're very digital hipster.
Yeah.
You know what? Coin it. Digital hipster. That's what I'm calling penguin communities. So they're into what's in now.
They figured that out, though. I'll show you how they figured that out.
Well, show me now. Like, don't no
So-
more cliffhangers.
Well, we wanted to get into gaming, right? Gaming was our next step.
All right, so let's talk.
Because
about,
I'm graduating us to what the epitome of it all is. That's why I don't.
I don't
wanna-
like that you're driving the bus on this.
So
It makes me nervous. I'm just saying.
all right. So gaming is really the next level of NFT, right? So we talked about it's crazy to have to say the whole thing over again, but gaming is where NFT takes a whole nother step because you have kids. You spend 10,000, 50,000 hours playing a game. that, you buy a console, you plug it in, you play the game, and all you do is get from the beginning to the end of it, and then it's over, right? Mm-hmm. Then the creator of the gaming console isn't making money anymore off just the game, so they obsolete that console, they make the next console. Now the games are going to live forever on the blockchain. So people aren't going to buy consoles anymore. They're going to go onto the web, they're going to sign up to these games, and then all of the time they're playing, and they're earning either items or play game money. It's going to be real. So if you're playing, I gotta say it again, you earn the Sword of Vermilon, you get your Cloak of Invisibility, you get your poisonous, throwing daggers.
What about the boots of flying?
The boots of flying, So
it sounds just as stupid.
The boots of
but
flying.
I bet it's all real stuff.
Yeah, because the boots of flying, that was kind of off. That wasn't actually a real,
No, but the cloak of vermicelli was.
The cloak of Vermilon, yeah.
Red sauce, white sauce.
So yeah.
Gross.
So anyway, so now instead of playing a game and turning the power off and it being over, these games are just going to live forever on the blockchain. And when you earn these items, they're going to be issued to you in an NFT format, meaning they become a digital asset now. And so the games are just going to become, they're going to grow, and they're going to live forever. And you're going to have generations that are playing these games, and the dad's going to show his kid, and then the dad's going to pass his assets down to the kid, and people are going to come in and buy those assets because they don't want to start off from scratch. You have the rich kid that gets allowance, or he's just got a kitty pot to do whatever he wants with. And
what's a kitty pot?
Kitty pot,
To pee in?
Yeah, the kitty pot where they just dump money and the kid gets
Kitty
to grab
into
it.
the kitty.
And he just dumped money in the pot, and he gets to
yeah.
grab it whenever he wants. He doesn't even have to do chores to earn his
parents do
allowance.
that?
I don't know.
Hell yeah, they
Mine
do. They
didn't.
set up trust funds for their brats.
Which,
And they don't even have to.
we don't have any wealthy watchers.
Yeah, some kids have like a spit platoon full of cash they can just grab from. Some kids have to do chores to earn their money, and some kids get a trust fund.
Wow.
And there's probably a whole bunch in between.
Jeez, I make my daughter pay me back when she gets a candy bar. at the supermarket. Apparently, I'm doing parenting wrong. Jeez. Literally made her pay me $1.79 the other day. She didn't have
I do
change.
that.
I said, I don't make change. Just give me $2.
I do that.
The reason I make that point is not to say that trust fund, not to like be evil about different wealth brackets, but different wealth brackets are going to play these games, and that's going to be value to these assets that everybody earns as they go through these games.
But why is the blockchain critical to that? If you're using the gaming thing, isn't that already done? Right? So you have Fortnite as an example, free game. Mm-hmm. You buy all of your upgrades and stuff. Those upgrades stay with you.
Yep.
And that game is just singly developed.
But they're not sellable. Those things you're buying and upgrading, there is no NFT behind that game, which they're changing.
At the same
they
time,
are changing that.
World of Warcraft, you have that already, right? And I think we talked about this in the first half hour, but build up a character and sell it to somebody for the people who want it. Like, why does the blockchain have to be involved?
Well, the blockchain is just going to become where how do you sell your item in World of Warcraft?
I have no idea.
I will say that there's a trust factor to it now. Like, they post it on like whatever site they're going to sell it on, and you got to hope they're going to give you what they say.
What they say, yeah. So yeah.
So how do you get that? You get a login? I mean, are you just getting a login? Like, hey, I'm going to sell you my character, and if you were playing a game, then the only way to access that character is through a login. So you're essentially selling your login to somebody.
Saying I don't know anything. I know I've seen that there are actual marketplaces that go and sell this stuff, and it was through research years and years ago, so I don't know how it works.
Well, I don't know exactly either. I don't know if it was. My guess is before blockchain, it was selling logins, because if you have this game, the only way you can access it is through logging into your account.
Well, I know some games allow you to transfer assets within the game between characters.
Between characters.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was very similar actually to blockchain, but you would have to give them your ID, and they would have to.
So this is blockchain's probably that on steroids. It's just probably the advanced
what
level.
What I would say, which is nice, is if you have it all living on the blockchain, you don't have any of this bull crap with PlayStation versus Xbox platforms, and this version doesn't work with that version. Or like Jimmy was saying, decommissioning the games and they're no longer does any of it matter. Like a lot of that will go away because it will be tracked indefinitely on the boots of Vermicelli blockchain or whatever the heck. It would be on that game's blockchain, and every transaction that's ever happened, as far back whatever version it was, will always be on there with which account everything is tied to. So,
But I mean, endless development of I guess maybe they develop interest, but I feel like we as humans lose interest too quickly in this stuff.
well, and
We move on to the next one. We
and we
lose our
will.
tribalism.
And I think that's part of the it's going to happen. You're right, because World of Warcraft's not popular anymore.
Yeah, and
It's still
I even
around,
tried it years ago.
I think it's.
It was so
I think
popular.
people lose interest because there's no stake. You lose interest in playing a game because there's really no point. All you're doing is trying to win. But when you introduce a game where you're actually earning money, do you realize people in countries right now are actually earning more money playing video games than they could by going to work? They're
How
making
are
a
they
living.
earning money though?
Well, if you have your own
Well-
Switch channel,
Well, yeah, I
And now you're
can
selling
see that.
advertising.
Yeah.
Well, no, not just that. Just playing the games,
But playing
earning
the
the
game and
tokens,
selling
earning the
assets.
items, earning the NFTs, and trading and
you're
selling
basically
items.
it's another way to turn your time into money. But instead
Yeah.
of going to a job, you're investing your time into the game,
Mm-hmm.
building the game up. And the developers like this
Yes.
because it drives people to spend time within the gaming environment. And then they're selling their stuff for real world money within the game.
Okay.
Or cryptos or whatever. I still think your stance is correct that they will eventually lose interest, but I don't think that matters because I think what's going to happen is there's always going to be another game. There's always going to be the next great game and whatever. But there's always, whenever a new game comes out, going to be people that are going to go in, they're going to commit the time, they're going to earn the NFTs, they're going to earn the things that other people who are later to the game are going to want. And then they can sell them, and they're going to move on to other games, and people will follow them, and it will become this constantly moving wave through the gaming community.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of like people move on, but so all those assets that you had in that game are now moot because nobody's really playing. It's
If
like
you
it's
didn't-
like in Call of
If
Duty.
you didn't sell them,
All of those assets are going to be.
but
Or
you're
if
going to
you
have
bought 'em.
sellers and you're going to have buyers.
Right.
The buyers aren't going to care about the assets they lost. They're going to be paying for it because they just want to have it right now.
Okay.
The sellers don't have the money to pay for it because they want it right now, or they're willing to put the time in to have something sellable. They're working. So it's almost like crypto. You've got your workers and then you've got your investors. So, I mean, I get it. It makes a lot of sense. The buyers aren't going to care that their investments go to trash because they bought it as a product. Just like you're not looking to sell your refrigerator when you're done with it. You're going to use it until it's done, then you're going to throw it away.
Yeah.
So the workers are building refrigerators to sell. It's going to be the same thing as this. You're going to find buyers who are willing to just invest for themselves.
So the way they're going to start developing games now, and I mean, I don't know all of the exact ins and outs about it, but so you can't hold me to every exact specific thing that I say. But the idea and the concept behind this now is, you take the blockchain, it's like a computer program, right? Or a computer itself, like you have a hard drive, it has whatever, a terabyte of gig, right? So when they're building, or a gig of a terabyte,
Don't.
whatever.
Don't.
What is it? Whatever it is.
Doesn't matter.
1 terabyte
Move
of.
it. Just
I can't even remember the word.
pick a butts. Whatever. Yeah, it's all good. Yeah.
What is it? You want to tell the audience what it is?
A terabyte of storage.
A terabyte
Is that
of.
what you were trying to say?
So you have.
I don't even know what you were trying to say. I was going to let you off the hook, but now we're having a conversation.
No, we got it. So if you have a computer and it has a terabyte of memory or whatever, what is that?
I don't know. Tyler's going to lose his crap. Over you broke Tyler's brain. His eyes he popped a blood vessel.
All right, so
It wasn't that funny.
So you're going to build a game on the blockchain, right? So you have a certain segment or a certain size of the blockchain that's going to be used to build this game, right? That portion of the blockchain is broken up into fragments. Okay, so now you're calling that world is going to exist on that portion of the blockchain, and it's this big. It's whatever by whatever, call it pixels, however we're going to talk about it in computer words. I'm sure there's a blockchain specific term for it, but so what happens now is they create this game.
Every time he wanders into tech, he totally loses me.
Well, pixels is how many squares are on the screen, right?
Yeah, no, yeah.
So gigs is how many spots there are inside the computer for storing stuff.
Yeah, the spots and
Yeah. It's like it's okay. It's like my van. Inside my van, I only have so many shelves to put things.
to put candy on your windowless van. Yeah, there's only so many places to put.
And
that
once
candy.
all my shelves are full, there's no more shelves. I either have to get rid of
they
stuff.
empty because the candy's free.
Or I could fractionalize my van and I can rent my storage shelves out to somebody, to store stuff in, or I could just store all my own stuff in there.
And I don't think the van analogy works.
Yeah.
You've lost all of us.
All right. So
Speaking
anyway,
of-
so now you have a space inside the blockchain where this game is going to this metaverse is going to reside, and then that metaverse is broken up into pieces, right? And then people are going to buy pieces of that metaverse, and they're going to come in, they're going to build their game there, and then it's going to be like you're walking through virtual reality and you're popping into this land, this section of this metaverse, and you're going to experience whatever the experience is that they have to offer, which is most likely going to be video game type kind of things. You're going to have storefronts in there. You're going to have video games in there. You're going to have worlds that are going to consist of multiple video games, stores, and all kinds of things. Where almost like going to an amusement park or going to the beach, or there's going to be these sort of worlds that this thing is cut up into.
Yeah, and they have that now. We've covered a lot of that in the virtual reality episode, where the virtual reality, augmented reality, all that. I mean, that stuff exists, and I agree with you. Look, here's the bottom line. Before we take our break, because we're obviously at time for that first half, but the bottom line is I do believe NFTs have a place in the digital world. There's clearly value there. I'm not sure that NFTs are required for gaming, but I think there's a place for NFTs to exist within gaming. Likewise, I don't think that NFTs have much value at all in the artwork world beyond the hype, but I believe they'll stay. I think the real question here, and maybe we tackle this after the break, but is why should anybody care? I mean, if you're playing a game that requires you to buy something in order to play the game, or if you want to buy something, do you care that it's an NFT, or that it's a TFN, or that it's an FNT, or do you really care what you're buying, or are you just paying money? Like, at what point does it being an NFT matter? Now, in the artwork world, it matters. An NFT is clearly a very different type of art. In the gaming world, it seems like just another transactional method.
It's...
I mean, whether it's an NFT or whether it's just a reservation on the blockchain or whether it's just you paying cash and going into somebody's database, I'm not sure I see the real intrinsic value of NFTs as a method of because you're just recording it in a different format on the blockchain. I believe that blockchain has a value in gaming because it's a long-term ledger of everybody's ownership within the game world and a long-term ledger of everybody's actions within the game world interactively. But I'm not sure I'm seeing how NFTs... Now, some of the stuff I've seen is you can make custom avatars for your characters, and it can be an NFT, and you can buy that, and then you can give yourself a custom look. Or you can create a custom build of a character, and you can create an NFT out of that for the... But I don't see NFTs from, like... Unless you want to give your boots of flying a different look than other people's boots of flying, that could be an NFT maybe. But actually buying the boots of flying doesn't need to be an NFT. That's just a blockchain transaction.
Right, but maybe the boots of flying only allow you to fly a certain amount of distance, and then by upgrading your boots of flying, they become more flashy, and then you can fly a further distance.
Again, but still, that's not an NFT. That's
Still
just
mechanical.
That's what
an
will
upgrade on the blockchain.
that's what'll be happening though. You're upgrading those NFTs, and you're giving, just like in a game where you're gaining more power by getting different things.
But you're not upgrading an NFT. You're just upgrading your boots of flying, which is a part of the game, which is just part of the blockchain.
Right, but you can still upgrade the NFT in the same way. You'll be able to upgrade those NFTs. That
But I think that
whether people care about this is a whole nother question.
In the same way, like you're not doing something new. Like the artwork stuff is something new. Like that is new. That's nothing like that has ever been done before. You can own a piece of artwork that was generated and sold exclusively as a digital format. I get that. The gaming thing, now the TV thing I've seen, and we're gonna have to take some of this time off the back half because I'm going a little rogue here. But the TV thing I've seen, like this is interesting, and maybe this will apply to gaming. But and I brought this up before, but like the Dominion X character now has its own TV show, and they are selling NFTs exclusively. Only when you watch the Dominion X show, I believe, you can buy the NFTs from watching the show. But Stoner Cats is my favorite example of NFTs.
Yeah.
being used in media, because to watch Stoner Cats, in order to watch Stoner Cats, you must own the Stoner Cats NFT. If you don't own the NFT and you can't prove ownership, you can't access the television program. And television, it's an online program. And I know I said this before, it still makes me giggle every time, but they called their NFT a token. It's a token, but a token, like TOKE.
Yeah, we missed that whole
And
thing.
then a little N.
There's a couple things I'm thinking about that we missed that were funny.
Well, yeah, so you got to buy your token, which is how you got to say it correctly. But to watch Stoner Cats, which is, the show is exactly what you think it would be. It's a bunch of stoned cats. Like, it's not super creative. But you buy your token, and then you can watch the show every time. You can watch every episode, I believe. So it's not that different from buying episodes of a program on Amazon with cash, except you buy this NFT and it gives you access to the program. But I like the use of that, because that makes sense. It's an NFT that has a purpose. There's a value to it, and that value is access to watching the show. And I would say if this was just a dumbass YouTube show, that might be something else. But I mean, this thing's got Mila Kunis. That's her name, right? Mila Kunis, Chris Rock, Jane Fonda, which I personally despise Jane Fonda as a human. But when you hear her name on a show called Stoner Cats, for some reason it adds weight to it. I don't know why. Like, I don't know if Jane Fonda's a stoner. I don't know if she's a cat. I don't know what she is. But like those types of things, the gaming world, I don't understand fully the NFTs rolling it outside of the imagery, like avatars, the look of your armor, the look of your weapons, maybe you an NFT to access a building in a virtual world, you have to show your NFT as a badge to get in. Like, I see that. I'm not sure I understand how an NFT plays into the transactional record.
So when we come back from the break, we're going to evaluate this. I'm going to talk to you a couple different projects that are actually taking it to this crazy other level,
All right, well,
where you're interacting in the real world and how it all comes to play, how you can earn income and all this kind of stuff.
Then let's take our break. You educate us. I've still got stuff on our agenda to go through. We are nowhere near done. Stay tuned. These messages from somebody. That's all it says. And I go, hey, you figured out that was me, huh? Did you put the signs out? And he's like, no, I didn't put the signs out. I was like, I figured it was a shot.
Oh, man. That's a good one, though.
All right, so you were going to educate us on... Go ahead.
Yeah. So we're gonna do. I'm just gonna show you guys this project. I'll try to buzz through. It's kind of a series of events that occurred as this thing sort of came out. So this CyberKongs. Okay. This has started out as an NFT project. Okay. And for those of you who don't know about NFTs, where to get NFTs. There's a couple of different sites. OpenSea is one that I look at quite often. Okay, so CyberKong started off. Okay, now these are the NFTs here. Okay, I'm going to go down because they've got 3 different types as this project evolved. It started off with the Genesis Kongs. Okay, so this started off. You can see right here. This is worth 75 ETH.
That's insanity.
It's worth 75 ETH.
No, it's not.
Okay, what is that in dollar amounts?
Overvalued.
Well, what? That would be 75,000. That would be 150. That would be 300. And then 75 ETH, you said? Mm-hmm. 300 times 7.
350.
That would be about $2.3 million.
75 times 4,000.
So, yeah, a little over $2 million. Check my math.
Oh,
yeah.
The babies are 3. Okay.
Well, do the math now. I need to know if I'm right. I'm super good at math.
Yeah, the babies are the ones I was thinking about.
Where's the calculation?
Wow.
342,000.
American dollars.
That's what it says.
Wait, 75 times 4,000, 4,500.
I really screwed up that math. Oh, yeah. No, I
Too many. You moved the decimal too far.
edit this out.
We'll do a voiceover.
Damn Belgian beers.
No, I think you're right. 350.
Let's not get stuck in the math. Go ahead. I
Okay.
want to learn about the monkeys. I'm
All
pretty
right.
sure.
Okay.
100% sure I'm wrong. I want to celebrate it.
Okay, so this activity line here, this shows you where the pricing started off. Okay, so these were that's 90 days. I want to go down here to all time activity. Okay, so back here when they started off, So when these things were minted, when you make an NFT, that's the minting, right? When you actually convert it into an NFT, when it's purchased for the first time as an NFT, it's called minting. So these things are minted right here. You can see this average price, 1.8 ETH. Okay.
Okay, so it's about
$10,000. So you're talking this now. This is 5/4. So this is back in April. This is the month of April. This is May. So in April of this year is when these things started. Okay, so you get April, May, all the way up here to when they first. This is about August when they started to get a little erratic, and then they're up to about 6 ETH. Okay, so how this whole project started to unfold was they created these NFTs. Okay, now the NFTs were just pictures; they were just images. But what they did, if you come over here to the CyberKong's website, you can see that you can look at this. Okay. And what this is sort of like them outlaying a road. Now the website has evolved, but they're laying out a roadmap of what they want to do. They have these ideas and stuff like this. So it started with the Genesis version of the CyberKongs. Then they came out with the baby and the incubators. And basically what would happen here is if you own 2 CyberKongs, they created a token called the bananas. Okay. So they created a token, which is a cryptocurrency called Banana. Okay. And what they did was they started trading the bananas. Okay. Bananas now are worth $43 a piece. Okay. Now they started off at, if we go back and we look at the max life of the bananas, they started off back here at $6 is where they came in to play.
This is the dumbest crap I've ever
Well,
read.
this feels like A Beautiful Mind, where the guy finds all of the like cool things, and at the end you realize he just was schizophrenic. That's all it feels like to me.
So Russell Crowe is to blame.
Yeah.
Damn you, Russell Crowe.
Okay.
Wow.
So what they did was they created these bananas, and they said, okay, so we're gonna drop bananas to all the Genesis holders.
Of course they are. Why wouldn't they
Okay.
drop bananas to the Genesis holders?
So what they did,
I'm going to start saying that in like team meetings on Thursdays. You'd be like, look, we need to drop more bananas on the Genesis holders in order to non-fungible our proprietary position on this technology.
okay. Now, whether they had to first buy
I'm going to
bananas,
get beat up if I say, like, if you say what he's saying in
It's
polite company,
Yeah, that's what I'm
somebody will punch you in the face. Like, this doesn't make any sense. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
okay,
Sorry, it's fine. Just banana me. Go
okay.
ahead.
So they start this banana cryptocurrency. Now the banana is like, okay, we have an idea for a game. Maybe we'll build a game and we'll use bananas as the currency inside the game.
Yeah.
Okay. Now what we'll do is everybody who's holding a Kong right now will drop them bananas and that's part of their benefit of holding the NFT.
Okay.
Right. So now
Makes
they are dropped cryptocurrency. Oh, sweet. Just by holding the Kong, we got bananas now. All right.
Straight
Okay.
face. It's poker.
Now.
It's poker.
Okay, so now what they says, okay, if you have
Does
six,
that monkey have snot coming out of its nose?
yes, it does.
Okay.
Yes, he does.
See,
It's not.
I feel like I'm in the city at a bus stop, and Jimmy's the homeless guy. Just talking, and I get on the bus, and I'm like, what the fuck just happened?
Okay. Well,
I just want to get out of this conversation.
all right.
How do I get out of this
So,
conversation?
so now, okay. So what they said is, okay, they came up with a plan. They said, okay, if you own 2 CyberKongs, you can have a baby. But it's gonna cost you.
The market cap on this conversation is like $75 billion. All right. Like,
Yeah, so you have to, you gotta like,
All right.
you have to see what's going on here. So they said, okay, so if you want to have a baby, you have to pay 600 bananas.
Well, of course
Okay.
you do. Why would you not have to pay 600 bananas?
Right. So when they dropped this concept, it was about $2,000 to initially to have a baby. Okay.
Do I
so
want to know how much your babies go for now?
600 bananas times 43.
right. So it was $2,000 at the time they created this program
I mean,
to.
it's kind of a cheap baby.
Okay. Then you would get a baby, and it would start off in an incubator. Okay, so we're gonna go back. We're gonna go back here to the Kongs. Okay, and we're gonna go back to items, and I'm gonna show you guys the babies and the incubators. Okay,
I can't.
so these are all the main cyber Kongs. Okay. Now we go to type.
Look at it.
Okay, now these are. I don't want to show you the baby because
No, well, I want to see the cloned baby. What was the one floating around?
you have to see the incubator.
That is the incubator. Okay, got it.
This is
got
the
it.
incubator. Okay, so when you paid your 600 bananas, you were dropped an incubator.
Stop saying it like that.
Okay, now look at what the incubators are worth: 5.5 ETH. And you notice I'm arranging this low to high.
When do they come out?
You see this?
Yeah.
As soon as you pay your bananas, an incubator is.
But when do they come out of the incubator?
I'm not sure how long you have to hold them before they come out of the incubators. But
And what do they come out as?
but-
Like, what do you get when they're out of the incubator?
But let me say, if we price the incubators high to low, 20 ETH,
Why is that incubator worth more than another incubator?
it's not. It's whoever pays
That's just
whatever.
They just want 20.
Hmm.
Who's going to pay 20?
I don't know.
Okay.
They'll pay 20 when all the sixes are gone.
But how many? That's an ETH. How many bananas is that?
Well, bananas are $40.
That's a lot of bananas.
Yeah, so if you wanted
This
to
is
buy
all-
bananas,
How many bananas in an ETH?
I don't know.
4,000.
You're my banana guy. Like, I would say it's
divided by
about
40?
110 bananas.
100 bananas in an ETH.
It'd be
okay.
about yeah.
So times.
Well, your ETH price is a little low, but okay, gotcha.
Well, what I use 4,000, 45. It's like 4,700 now.
Yeah. So, okay. So let's just round it to 100. You're right. So 100 bananas
Well, no, 100 bananas is one
to an
ETH.
ETH. So 20
So 20
ETH is going to
times
be
20
that's gonna be
20,000
That's going to be
bananas.
20,000 bananas. That's-
20,000. That's a lot of bananas.
I mean, that's Chiquita quality stuff right there.
Wait,
Like,
is that 2 million bananas?
doesn't matter anymore.
I think it's 2 million bananas.
Who's got that many bananas?
All right. So then,
stuff's
upon
bananas.
hatching, you get a baby. Okay.
Okay.
Now here's the babies.
That is a baby.
Oh, that baby's worth 696 million.
ETH.
Yeah.
696 million ETH.
696,000 ETH.
696,000 ETH.
That's what it's priced at. But let's go low to high because I
You
don't
go,
look at high
yeah,
to low.
that's a crazy.
So
baby.
so they call this the floor price. The floor price.
Right, these banana babies are worth.
This shows
That's
you
the incubators.
there's 4.7 there's 4,700 cyberkongs. There's 2,000 owners, and the floor price is 4.7. The 4.7 is the low price, the lowest price, and this is the volume traded each day. Okay, or
In
this,
ETH.
the volume traded
All
overall.
of it's in ETH.
Actually, that's probably overall. Yeah, 35,000 ETH. Okay, so right now you can buy this baby for 4.1 ETH. This is actually on auction. What you have to do is you got to go up here and go to the buy now, because some of these are on auction. So if you want to buy now, here these guys are for sale. 500 banana, 5.8 ETH, 5.9, 4 or 4.9, 4.9. So you need 5 ETH to get in to the cyberkongs. Okay. Now, so what they did now with the bananas, what's happening? Okay, now you heard of farming, yield farming, and staking. Okay, so now the cyberkongs has this kitty of money. Okay, that things go into as people are buying. I don't really know how that whole bag works. Okay, but what they're doing now is they're dropping 10 bananas a day to all the Genesis holders. So if you hold a Genesis Kong right now, you are earning $43 times 10, $430 a day to hold a Cyberkong.
Why?
You're
What-
earning that
is
through
there-
yield forming
So
platform.
you're earning bananas to not sell your Genesis Kong?
You're earning bananas if you hold a Genesis Kong. You're
Is
earning
this how they're generating bananas? Like, is this where the bananas come from?
the bananas is an ETH. Or it's not an ETH. It's like a cryptocurrency, right? If you create a cryptocurrency,
Well, yeah, but
you
I'm-
say, okay, here's a billion.
But they have a finite amount
bananas.
of Genesis monkeys, right?
Right.
Or gorilla, ape, whatever the banana eaters.
Cyber
Correct.
Cyberkongs. And so if they have, let's say, 1,000 Genesis Kongs, they're guaranteed a certain amount of banana that has to be generated per day. Are they using the Cyberkongs as the proof of work as opposed to, or as the proof of stake as opposed to proof of work?
So the Cyberkongs are an NFT project. They're not a cryptocurrency. The banana token is a cryptocurrency.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is the proof of stake in the Genesis
There's no
monkey.
There's no proof of stake in an NFT. That's just a cryptocurrency.
No, but the bananas aren't an NFT. That's what I'm saying. Like
right, the bananas. So
the bananas are only coming from Genesis holders, right?
the bananas.
Or can you
is
buy them
like-
independently?
Yeah,
as well?
you can buy them
Do
independently.
you have to buy them from Genesis holders? You can buy them
Nope,
from...
you can buy them just as a cryptocurrency.
So
like
how,
right here.
how are they made? Are they made through traditional mining?
Correct.
So you can mine
Of
bananas.
some sort. Bananas are, I guess you can mine bananas, and then bananas are going to be used in the games. Bananas are used to buy upgrades for your Kongs. You can buy different things and upgrade your Kongs. So we're going to evolve, and you're going to see how this is evolving into a world and into a game and into a whole slew of I don't even know what word to use. So right now you can get it on Sushi Swap, right? You can get a banana wrapped ETH to get banana. So you got to stake your ETH, use wrapped ETH, then you are issued wrapped ETH.
I just want to be fair. I own a company named Laughing Rock Technology, and it seems super reasonable compared to these names. You're buying bananas for your Genesis Kong on Sushi Swap. I mean, Laughing Rock sounds like Bob's Computers at this point. Like, sweet Mary of Mother Magdalene. All
Okay.
right.
So now, if you're able to, you're able to mint a baby cyber Kong, they're now worth X, right? So you can go back here and you can see the activity. You can see where they minted for $2,000. They came on. That's 90 days. All time. So when they minted these guys, they were again. I don't know if if this is including everything.
Yeah, but you have to look at the value of the ETH at that time.
I want this just to be the babies.
I
So,
don't care.
I mean, you guys get where I'm going with
We're
it.
getting too granular,
Okay.
but I get it. They're
All right.
building their own ecosystem based off of
So-
cyber monkeys.
Okay, so now what they're doing?
apes.
Okay, so
Cyber
now
Kongs.
what they've done
Kongs.
is so now if you own a Genesis Kong, now you're in Discord, right? Now you're in a group. Now you come into Discord, right?
We have
Okay.
agenda items to cover here. I think we might have murdered this thing. Like,
Okay, so inside Discord, this is the community where the Kongs hang out.
Okay.
Okay, so now you have all these.
Oh man.
You have all these different
So this is an extension
different
of the
rooms.
sushi.
Okay, you have all these different rooms. Okay, now you have to, if you own a CyberKong, you can submit it. You have to come in here and you got to get permission to get.
We're out of time. This entire back half of this entire show has been about monkeys with bananas on their heads and snot coming out of their nose.
Are we gonna do a part 2?
No, we're not going to do a part 2. Right, hold on.
Alright.
So I set it to 20 on purpose because we got a couple
Alright.
of minutes here. But I
So
get,
let me-
I
so-
get it.
so let me
there's
wrap
an
it up.
ecosystem built
Okay.
around a platform.
Okay, so you come in, you verify you're a Kong holder, and once you verify you're a Kong holder, there are different categories of rooms that you can participate in conversation. When you get into the back end of the conversation, now you're talking about you're dealing with people who are elite people in the NFT world. No people. It's like a community of people. So as you burrow deeper into this community, you
I
start
could
to
meet Funbags Gokong.
Yeah, you
Or
could.
Sniggy without Z.
exactly,
Or possibly
or Sir Al
Ape a lot.
Ape a lot. Okay,
You're not
now,
selling me on this. You're making it worse.
Okay, okay. Look here. Come over
We're
here.
out of time. You're going deeper.
Well, now we're in the sandbox. We're in the sandbox where
Of course we are.
you see these little squares.
Yeah.
Right here.
I see him.
Okay, each one of these little squares is about anywhere from 3 to 50 ETH.
Okay.
Okay, CyberKongs owns this entire estate. Okay.
Okay.
So now what they're doing here is they're building CyberKong World. Okay, so this is a metaverse sandbox. So now what's going to happen? People are going to come in virtual reality, and if you look at this map, this is all the different types of projects that are participating in this metaverse.
Okay.
So right, so you can walk through town here, and you can pop into CyberKongs. You can pop into Atari Land if you want down here. You can pop into Rarible right here. You can pop into all these all these different people, all these companies now are going to be creating worlds inside this metaverse. Okay, so now all the token holders of CyberKong get get dropped, NFTs mints opportunities for land inside CyberCon. So as you're in this community, you're getting dropped these opportunities, and these drops are they're like a 5x under what they become available after they hit the market as an NFT sale.
But
secondary
you have to buy a bunch
market.
of monkeys and bananas even to get the access to the people that may or may not give you access to this world that you might want to be in.
You participate by investing in the company. You're a shareholder of the stock. You hang out. You make suggestions. You help make a contribution to the project and grow it. And what's happening now, the next level where you come back to your cool cats, is that CyberCongs is going to become such a it's going to be like a Bugs Bunny. Everybody's going to know what a CyberCong is. Everyone's going to know what a cool cat is. And then what's going to happen is Disney, instead of having an entourage of people trying to come up with concepts to design the next movie or the next cartoon, they're going to say, F this. Hey, CyberCongs, we want to use your characters. Okay, that's cool. We'll allow you to lease our characters for X amount of money you can pay to use the characters to do your show. Now, anyone who's a CyberCongs holder is going to earn money from they're going to earn royalties from the characters.
All right, we're going to have to come back to this. We are out of time. I get it. I get everything that's going on here. It seems a little forced to use NFTs to gain entry to the game. But I get it. It's that won't last forever because eventually you're going to get big players that are going to come in and just buy blocks.
Well, I didn't show you the.
No, you're not going to show us. You're done. But we have a lot to cover yet. I think maybe we should do a part 2, Jimmy, because you clearly have a lot of research here that you didn't get to. I've got a lot of stuff on this that we didn't get to. You're doing the next agenda because you clearly know a lot more than us. We are out of time.
These are the avatars. We'll
Final
close with
thoughts,
the avatars.
Final thoughts. Tyler, go.
I don't get it.
Jimmy, final thoughts. No, wait, hold on. I don't get it. Like big.
I just
at the toy display where you didn't get it and then it became something, or I don't get it. Like this is ridiculous.
You don't.
Ridiculous. We talked about bananas and monkeys.
And
I don't get it.
And cartoon and movie royalties.
And maybe it's just my age. I just don't. I'll just continue to sit in the woods.
Do you think it's an age thing?
I don't know. Maybe.
It's crazy to me too.
Final thoughts.
Believe me, it doesn't make sense.
No, it actually makes sense. It's just final thoughts. Go ahead. We're not going to get.
I mean, I'm mid thought. I'm still mid thought as I put all this stuff together. I mean, we're just scratching the surface of all this.
Well, look, this. I mean, the cyber monkey stuff is effing ridiculous, like you said. But the concept behind it makes sense. You've got an entry point, which is get in on the Kongs. Then you've got an upgrade. It's almost like they turned investing into a video game.
Yeah, essentially.
Which is what they did.
And they're building community. They're building like what do you call Bugs Bunny? Bugs Bunny is an icon. They're building iconic characters, and it's not just them now. But you come back to what you realize is about when you said earlier about how they'll be moving on to the next thing. Mm-hmm. The GameStoppers here, they're in Tesla. Where's the next great thing? They figured out that we don't want everybody to keep moving. We figured out that these communities have power, and we want to maintain them and keep them, and we want to grow it, and we want to create opportunity.
This makes sense.
So that's what they're doing.
This is not art. Like that was my problem with the next person was the art concept.
Right.
This is not art. These things actually have intrinsic value.
Yeah.
Because one, obviously, they're traded on an active exchange, and they have value because of their exclusivity, but also because of what they give you access to, which is an entryway into a cyber community of a cyber world that gives you greater exposure into a new marketplace. Now, these things have been around for a while. I mean, Second Life was the first I ever saw, which was probably 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But this is very similar. It's a virtual world with virtual storefronts and real companies living in a virtual environment. All of that is real. So that makes sense. I think the NFTs are just a unique method of getting there. I think you could have done this with anything. I don't think NFTs are the prerequisite to getting to where you want to be on this, but I think they finally found a method for building value in getting into that world. And I think that world was meant to happen at some point.
So this right now, I just wanted to show you this. This is what a CyberKong Genesis holder is earning per month
Oh, that ain't too shabby.
through yield earnings of bananas. So if you $13,000 a month in bananas that they can turn around and sell,
That's a lot of bananas.
I mean,
those are bananas. That is bananas. That is bananas.
All right,
Let's end it with that.
On that note, we're going to call it a day. Everybody, thank you so much for joining us. I think we will do a second installment in NFTs because we didn't get to squat, and there's a lot more here. I think we got a lot to cover. If you learned anything, congratulations. I didn't learn a thing. This was an absolutely useless venture into Jimmy's mind, and I feel dumber for it, and I feel like all of us should take a shower. So on behalf of America, Tyler Klopp, Jimmy McCauley,
Have a banana.
have a banana.
The Broken Agenda Podcast. Sponsored by Laughing Rock Technology.